Hello, this is Chris from GrowQuest, and I want to talk to you about the recent heat across the country and how it may be a great buying opportunity for you in your garden. I had quite a few berry plants that I had bought to talk about how delicious the berries were, and then it hit 110 here for a few days, maybe only a couple of days, and it was certainly over 100 while I was out doing deliveries, and these tasty berries were quickly dehydrated in the sunshine to just like little rat turds. So it occurred to me that across the country many places have had extreme heat, and you may be able to go to your local nursery, and it probably would not work at a Home Depot or a Lowe's because the vendors have to take back the plants regardless of how badly the Home Depot or the Lowe's treated them. But your independent nurseryman may be willing to make a good deal, very deeply discounted, for some otherwise great plants that'll just take you a month or more to rehabilitate, maybe even less. For instance, the berries. Now these berry plants, as you can see, very crispy critters. This one that had a beautiful bouquet of berries on the top, been reduced down to animal turds, and again very crispy. Still a good plant, but there's no way a nursery could ask premium money for this. I mean, it'd just be laughing silly. So you can make them a deal, maybe offer them 25 cents on the dollar. One way you can tell if berry plants are in good shape is simply slide it out of the pot a little bit and look at the roots. You can see a really fresh runner here. The canes down low are still green. Others may have good buds popping out at the inner nodes. So the camera person will walk back here for a moment. Wherever there's a leaf, there's a potential for a bud, called an internodal bud. This one I've just left the way it is because, well, I'm a little shy on cutting dead stuff off until plants are really flushed out. I just usually prefer to leave the ugly stuff and see how nature takes its course. This one was cut back and fertilized a little bit, and you can already see flushing strong new growth. It's a amber and raspberry. This is another raspberry, and you can see again it didn't get damaged as badly. You can see all these new buds popping up that'll begin producing fruit right away, which makes another excellent point why berries are probably a very good container plant in most backyards, because obviously as soon as you put this in the ground, it's going to begin spreading out. And right in here in the base, you can already see more new growth, new buds. So it's a healthy plant, but this is not prime value. I mean, you know, if the guy's asking $12.50, you know, offer him $5 or something. He should be happy to let it go, because at your small nursery or your independent nursery, growers don't take back the plants because they don't have to. Nurseryman doesn't take care of it, that's on them. So we're going to pot this up. It's in a number 15 container. It came from a number 3 container. I've got my very unscientific blend of horse manure, coffee grounds, planting mix, and topsoil. Last year my mixes were a little bit too light and the containers are drying out too quickly, so I'm adding a lot more soil and sand to the mix. Now, the most important thing to do is not to repeat the mistake of the last month or so and let it dry out, which is where most people in their gardening habits will go wrong as it is. Almost all the plants that die in your landscape died because they didn't get enough water, or they're not performing because they didn't get enough water. If you're in doubt, look at how much water is applied to the food crops in your region if you live near a food growing area. Check out how heavily the orchards are watered in your area.
the rows of corn, vegetables, you'll see that they get a lot of water and a regular amount of fertilization. If you're not doing something on the same level, you're not going to get a very good harvest or a good display of flowers. So you've got this big container of soil, and this works equally true if it's going into the hole on a backyard. You got to get the hose going and jet the soil. You got to move it down in here. You want to turn your soil to liquid, just dirt soup. You don't want any dry soil in this container when you're done. The only way to do that is to get in here with the hose and just turn it to soup. And those are berry plants in the process of rehabilitation.